But this is what happened. He wanted me to deal with Trevon and basically give Trevon money to advertise. And I said, okay, fine. When I contacted Trevon, I says, yo, Trevon, man, I got 20 G's for you to spend on ads. You know, they got it from Glenn. Trevon's like, man, I don't want that money. I want it from Glenn. I don't want it from you, Craig. You know, I want it from Glenn. I want to be in Glenn's position. He was pissed. He was like, yo, man, I want to be in Glenn's position. Glenn doesn't deserve that shit because Glenn wasn't he didn't have a lot of people under him. He wasn't the only reason he got that shit was because he went to Thailand, which I think he deserves it because he went to Thailand. You know, he went there, he talked to them, they gave it to him. He has a lot of experience too in this field. And, you know, the guys he's talking to, like Satish, they're all like, you know, they have prior marketing experience doing the same thing that Glenn does. So they're all speaking the same conversation as promoters. Me and Trey is all about cryptocurrency. You know, we're the crypto guys. They're the marketing guys. So I looked at this like, this is perfect, you know. I didn't mind Glenn being, I liked the fact that he was the one above me because I knew he knew what he was doing. So, and I didn't think Trevon could do that shit. You know, so I was like, Trevon, you're being, and I didn't say it to him, but I was like, I told Glenn, man, Trevon's being ridiculous because he's thinking that he can do your job, and I know he can't. He just wants to be in your position because he's the one bringing all the money. So I was like, he doesn't want the 20 G's. So, you know, I'm caught in the middle, but Glenn and Trevon had a conversation and they decided that they're going to say, yo, Craig, we want to move Trevon to be under Glenn. So Glenn says to me, Craig, I'll double up your 0.5% and give you 1% if Trevon is moved from under you and comes onto me. I was like, okay, right? So what I was thinking now is that now, instead of me getting 0.5% of everything that Glenn's making, right, Trevon's going to go under Glenn. I'm going to get 0.1% of everything that Glenn's making because that's the way it was explained to me, right? So I'm cool with that because so I'm not losing in a sense. Now I'm just being relieved of the responsibility of being in between these two guys. And now he can work with Trevon directly. And Trevon, well, he will get a promoter's tab like me. So he wouldn't even have to talk to Glenn. You know, he would have the money there in it. Because once you got a promoter's tab, the money shows up and you do what you want with it. So no, Glenn was just a guy who just assigned the position, or, you know, he didn't have a role that he's in control. He has a role of a communicator between us and Bitconnect, right? The most thing he did was, like, when we put a video up that Bitconnect didn't like, Glenn would say, yo, take that down. Now, he was doing other stuff, you know, that has to do with him and Bitconnect and the stuff that they do at that level, but that has nothing to do with us. We were just promoters, and we promote our thing. We were being given money to not promote anything else, which Trevon didn't like that shit. That's the one thing that he totally didn't like, the fact that he couldn't promote anything else. I didn't care. But here's what happened. So he moved Trevon, right? And I'm happy, like, yeah, man, I'm about to make the money now. And then suddenly my income just fell off totally because, you know, of course it's going to fall off because Trevon's not under me anymore. But my development fund also didn't go up. Like, I felt my development fund money dropped off too. So not only my referral income dropped to the floor, but my development fund money dropped to the floor. And then, like I said, I looked into it. And what it was, I don't know who explained this to me or how it got explained to me, but the explanation was that I wasn't getting 1% of everything about that Glenn was making. I was getting 1% of everything that I was making, and Trevon was no longer under me. So basically, I got fucked. I got fucked, right? Because now the thing is, I don't know if Glenn was aware of that's how it works. Right, so I was telling Trevon, maybe Glenn didn't realize that's what, you know, because he didn't explain to me that, you know, that's not what I was explained. So a week went by and I wasn't talking to Glenn. I was only talking to Trevon about the situation. And Trevon was like, man, that's fucked up. You know, if he knew that's how it worked, that's fucked up. That means he fucking tricked you, you know, but I didn't want to think of it that way. I didn't want to think that he did that. So I'm waiting to see what he's going to say. You know, a week went by. When you finally hear from Glenn, that's what he said. That's what he says. Damn, guys, I just took a hit. Bitconnect lowered my payment from 15 to 10%. But I'm not going to change you guys' numbers. You guys are good. I'm going to take this hit. So basically, he put his head on the mantle before we could even have a conversation about what he did to me. And so we never had the conversation, right? Now, I believed him about that, but he was the only person that told me that. Like, there was no other information. Like, inside the promoters tab, inside Bitconnect, it still said 15%, right? So He could have lied. I don't know. I don't know. I chose not to think that. I chose to say, I'm gonna keep moving on because I'm still happy. Although now I was making less money, I was still doing okay. And I thought to myself, this is gonna motivate me to do even more, to do better. Because now my shit, I'm not making the money anymore. And Trevon, his just thought, nah, he's blowing the fuck up, because he got money now. And he's just like, yo, man, I'm about to do this shit. So right away, his income doubles, mine is half. Moving forward. So, but I'm in Jamaica. I don't have an expensive lifestyle. Later on, around October, November, there's enough money now. We've earned a lot of Bitcoin. I started getting, like my girlfriend would say, man, we should buy another car. Right now we still have the same car that we delivered bounce houses at, and we still have a $500 car payment, right? Because she would come to me and say, like, we should buy a house or we should buy a car. I said, look, we're doing something here with Bitconnect that's never been done. I've said this over and over again. I made videos about this. And so I don't want to buy anything, right, ever. But if I do buy something, or if you buy something, we need to file our tax returns first, right? Let's get that out of the way and see where we end up, and then we think about buying stuff. But I was saying, let's never buy anything. Let's just always rent, always stay free. I like that lifestyle. I like that. That is much better, because once you own something, you're responsible for it, and that's going to take away from the time in my life, right? And that's the most important thing to me, based on the stuff that's in my book. Time is the only thing that has any value to me. I don't care about how much money, because the amount of money is always going to be there for me today. Whatever amount of money I need today to have the best experience, that amount is available to me. I don't need $10 billion to have a great day. I don't even need $10 million to have a great day. I need X amount, whatever it is it costs for me to rent this place, which is not a lot. It's not $10 billion. That's the amount that I desire to have in my life, and I live for today. So I'm not into owning. That's basically the speech that I gave. This thing is also hitting me up again about the space. So I'm going to keep recording. If it stops, I'll do something about that. So November, I have Bitcoin in Exodus. I have Bitcoin in Gemini. Now, Bitcoin Cash, goes at it. Bitcoin Cash attacks. We all went through that shit. When the Bitcoin network was just falling fucking apart, transactions took days, weeks. Bitcoin Cash was on the move. It seemed like Bitcoin Cash was attacking Bitcoin, right? We all observed that going on. In the middle of all that, on the worst day that shit happened, on the worst day ever, everybody, I was at the swimming pool, and Juliana said, I'm getting hacked. Trevon said, I'm getting hacked. Everybody I knew was hitting me up on the phone, says, yo, I'm getting hacked. I get out the fucking pool, I go upstairs, I see Google emailing me, your account. All my fucking Gmails are being trying to attempted hacks. So in a paranoia, I go to Exodus and I said, okay, I'm gonna send this. I wanted to send the 50 Bitcoin to Bitconnect platform because I felt it was gonna be safe on Bitconnect, because I actually was hacked on Bitconnect before that. And then I installed security measures on Bitconnect so I wouldn't get hacked again. So the safest place for me was either Gemini Exchange or Bitconnect. And even Gemini was getting hacked. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna send it to Bitconnect. And I even made videos about that, right? And I sent the 50 Bitcoin, it didn't go. It disappeared, right? So I contacted Exodus. There was a communication, they investigated, they couldn't explain what happened. Now, my email address that had my private key in it, bad idea, right? And I even made videos saying that, man, I have my private key in my email because that's the safest place for it to be. I was wrong. I didn't even have 2FA. Listen, all my time living in Florida, I never had a cell phone, right? All my time living in Jamaica, I didn't have a cell phone. I don't use cell phones. I started using a cell phone when I started playing with Steam, and I didn't use it that much. And so my use of cell phones was very, very minimal, even when I was in Bitconnect. And so this idea of 2FA, alien idea to me. I didn't like the idea of 2FA because then I had to depend on the cell phone, and I don't do that. So I never put 2FA on my email. Now, when my Bitconnect got hacked, I started using 2FA. Now, when my Gmail got attempted hacked, my private key was in there. When I went to the account, I changed the password and I took my private key out of there. So I don't know, because Google didn't tell me whether or not the hackers gained access to my Gmail. But apparently, I'm thinking that they did because my private key was used to take the 50 to move the 50 Bitcoin. That is my suspicion. Now, it could have been, when I made a video, I said that it looked like a technical problem, a technical glitch, because I sent that 50 Bitcoin at the height of when Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash was at their wars. So my thinking was, okay, I chose the wrong time to send it, and that's why I lost it, right? But possibly what could have happened is they got my private key and moved the Bitcoin. A hacker did contact me and tell me that, but I'm not going to believe anything that anyone says. I said to him, well, if you really did that, send me 10 Bitcoin right now, to prove to me that you actually took 50. And the motherfucker, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, well, that's the only way I'm going to believe you. If you took 50 Bitcoin from me, is if you send me back 10. So that's that with the 50 Bitcoin. Now, a week later, now this is crazy because I go through this and Trevon has 100 Bitcoin in Exodus, more than that actually. And he knows I lost 50. And I think maybe he didn't believe me. I don't know what his thinking was. I can't speak for him, but a week later, he still has 100 Bitcoin in Exodus and he's showing everyone that I have this 100 Bitcoin in Exodus. And then he gets hacked. And I said, dog, you wanted to get hacked. You deserved to lose that 100 Bitcoin after what I went through a week ago, right? Now, this caused a big noise, a lot of noise in the crypto space. It was very, you see, again, at this point now, we have a lot of people into Bitconnect who are not experienced crypto people. And this is mind-blowing to them that, at the time when I lost 50 Bitcoin, it was worth around $6,000, $7,000, right? So that's a lot of money, right? But to me, it's not. I mean, it is, but it's like, if you're in crypto long enough, you hear about these things every day, not every day, but every week. Hacks happen, billions this way, millions that way, 100 Bitcoin that way, 1,000 Bitcoin that way, hacks. It's a part of the culture, right? However, if you're not used to that, it's mind blowing. Like, oh, you just lost that much money and you didn't call the police or you're lying. You're lying. You don't want to pay taxes. I'm like, taxes? What are you talking about? There's no tax. The moment I see people talking about taxing Bitcoin, like you have to pay taxes, like they really don't understand what's going on, because yes, there's capital gains tax. If I buy Bitcoin, right, and I sell Bitcoin and I make a profit, I pay capital gains on that. But if I earn Bitcoin and I have Bitcoin, I don't have shit. I don't have shit. It doesn't exist, right? It just doesn't exist as far as when you talk about tax bills. Unless I'm gonna say, all right, I have 100 Bitcoin here, IRS, that I earned, and it's sitting right here on my wallet. Do you want any of this? What are they going to say? I don't know what they're going to say. I think what they should say is, well, yeah, you have to sell it first, and then we want our money, right? Because as long as it's in that wallet, it's not real. It can disappear at any moment because that's what happens in cryptocurrency.